Welcome to the Killer Innovation Show, the longest continuously produced podcast in history. Each week, Phil McKinney brings you the insights and strategies to amplify your creativity and innovation skills. Here's your host, Phil McKinney.
Hello, and welcome to the studio. As I was preparing for some upcoming shows, I took some time to look back on my past innovations. I was looking to quantify what it took to make them successful. What were kind of the key elements? So this is all part of content working on some upcoming shows. However, there was one key element to achieve success that kind of revealed itself, one that I have never really given full credit to. I've talked about it a little bit, but I've never really given full credit as to its impact on my innovation success. But this one element not just influenced one or two, but influenced every one of my innovations. And so that is the topic for today's show. But before we jump in, I just have a favor to ask. Can you please like, share, and follow? Like today's show so other people can find it. You can post a review of it over wherever you listen to your podcast. Share it on your social media. Let other people hear about it. And in this week, I want to do a quick shout out to Alvaro Yurich. Alvaro posted a link and a comment about one of the shows that we recently put out. And he got a number of comments, and we got a little discussion going amongst his followers on social media. Alvaro, thank you very much for that. And also, follow me. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You pretty much name it, I am on it. So you can find me. Typically, it's Phil McKinney, all one word, no spaces. And you can follow. And I post there fairly regularly, and that is my means of conversation. So with that, let's jump into today's show talking about that one key element that had huge influence on my innovation success. The question that many will spend their career searching the answer to is, what's the secret to achieving success? Where should I search for these answers? How do I uncover those secrets? Obviously, people have been successful in the past. Where is it that I can find these secrets? Now, most believe success comes from doing what successful people do. Since they're successful, they're the most competent. They can tell us what it is to achieve success. And you can look at the self-help industry and books and common business magazines or blog posts, the 10 skills to do X, the 5 things to avoid for success, whatever it is. Now, this is not something new. Going back to 1986, there was a book that came out called In Search of Excellence. It established pretty much the formula for this genre of books, which was to identify a few companies who are exceptional, name brands, things, companies or individuals, leaders who've had articles written about them by major publications. You compare these against each other. You identify what are the shared practices. So 10 companies, what's the common thing that all 10 of these companies do? And then publish those 10 things so that others can apply them, to their business or to their own success. So let's take a look at how successful that is, learning the secrets in that way. So let's take 50 firms featured in 3 bestsellers of this genre. And that would include In Search of Excellence, Good to Great, and Built to Last. So yes, I am dating myself. These are older books, but this was when I was coming up in my career. The way, if you wanted to learn how to be a successful business leader, was to read these books. Now, of the 50 firms covered by these 3 books, here's some of the statistics, which I think you'll find pretty interesting. 16 of those companies failed within 5 years of being published in one of the books. 23 then became mediocre. They underperformed the S&P 500. 5 became exceptional, and the remaining 6 were kind of average. So here were 3 books that held up 50 companies as being the ones you should learn from. But when you take it out into history and you look back, only 5, 10% became exceptional. If the successful are not good role models, if looking at these 50 companies, which at the time when you read them, you go, oh, that's obvious. That should be somebody that we can learn from. What is it they do, and how do I apply it to my activities? And so if you can't be successful by mimicking good role models, because in reality, are there really good role models? Then who do you learn from? Let's take a look at music. If you took a top 20 song, a new artist comes out, puts up a new song, and it shoots to being in the top 20, should you sign that artist? Now, your gut check is to say, yes, of course. They've put out a hit song, so therefore, once they've had a hit, the likelihood of them having another hit, high, yes, you should sign them. There was a study that was done that looked at almost 8,300 acts, artists, songs from 1980 to 2008. So it's a fairly wide time frame, but a little bit of the past. And when you do the analysis, rather than signing that new artist that put a song up in the top 20, you would have much higher market success if you chose the second best. If that artist, that new artist, put up a song that was ranked between 22 and 30 in the top 100 songs. Why? Because in many cases, the songs that get onto the number 1 or top 5 of that list get there by luck. We sometimes refer to that as one-hit wonders. They just happen to get the right lyrics, the right beat, covering the right topic, got just the right airplay, and got lucky. Those that kind of come in at that next layer down tend to actually have more skill. And when you go back and you do this analysis, again, over 8,300 acts, going back and looking at which acts were most successful, putting up multiple hit records, hit songs, were not the ones that got lucky out of the gate and went to number 1 and had that one-hit wonder out of the gate. But their first songs kind of were good. They made it onto the list, not the top of the list, but they were on that list. And therefore, they actually grew and got better and better, a better set of skill, and therefore long-term success. Those one-hit wonders occur because of luck. And so the question being is your gut says, go after the star. Go after that guy who got the top 5 song, the top woman country singer that got that new song out there in top 5. But the really, really smart agents in the music industry, they don't sign them. They go after the ones that are in kind of that mid-20s to mid-30 range coming out of the gate for their first song. They got some taste for success, but they got there because of quality, not because of luck, which can catapult it to that top. So what role does luck play? What role does luck play in personal success, career success? And for the topic for today is, what does luck play in innovation? Now, we all have some concept of what we think about luck. We'd say, oh, the harder I work, the luckier I get, or chance favors the prepared mind, or we can catch any of the other catchy meme posts that we see up on social media. Now, it makes sense that you can make some limited amount of your luck to get from bad to good. In some cases, people will sometimes confuse luck with taking risk, right? But when I'm talking about luck, I'm talking about real luck. And what I mean by luck is to go from good to great, from good to game-changing. from good to breakthrough, it's about being in the right place at the right time. It is going far beyond grit and hard work. You still need to put the grit and hard work in, but grit and hard work by itself, not sufficient. Luck plays an absolutely critical role. Great cannot occur without luck. Now, you've heard me say this many times. The difference between kind of an okay innovation and a great innovation is rarely the innovation itself. What the difference is timing. Hitting that innovation at the right time, when the right need emerges, when the right market conditions occur, the right interest of investment, the right set of technologies that can be brought together to create your idea. All of that timing has to align, and that transforms from what is good or an okay innovation to something that is transformative, that is breakthrough, that is game-changing. Now, some levels of success are attributed to certain characteristics about you, your passion, your perseverance, your imagination, your intellectual curiosity, your openness to look, investigate, and be curious about the new. But luck, things completely outside of your control, luck is not one of those things we put high up on the list that we give credit to when it comes to seeing or achieving success. So let's think about luck here for a second. When I think about luck, I think about it in the construct of a 2x2 matrix. The horizontal axis is the level of luck. Left-hand side, 0, no luck. The right-hand side, scored 100. You've got absolutely every perfect condition you could ever want. The vertical axis is your innovation capabilities. The lower part of that vertical axis, 0. You have no fundamental innovation capability. Top end of that axis on the left at 100 is you are perfection when it comes to innovation. So now you've got this 2x2 matrix. If you break it down and think about it in these constructs, in the lower left-hand corner where you have no luck and no innovation capability, guess what? You have no chance. If you don't innovate and you don't leverage any form of luck, competition is going to eat you up and you will be out of business. You will go bankrupt. The upper left, that is you got great innovation capabilities, but you just haven't had the luck fall your way. The timing hasn't worked out with your ideas. Regulatory, haven't been able to secure investors, whatever it is. It's what we refer to as unlucky innovators. Maybe have a good idea, but you cannot transform it into a great idea. And you might have, some form of mediocre success. You might get to a point where you can at least break even and run a little business. Or you may even be acquired by somebody else who's interested either in maybe the core of your idea, combining it with something they have, or they may want your team. They want your innovation capability. So that's that upper left-hand quadrant, which is unlucky innovators. In the lower right-hand corner, so you've got unbelievable luck, but you have no core fundamental innovation capabilities. What do we call that? That's what we call blind luck. You just fall into something. You just accidentally uncover something, not out of, running your innovation pipeline and doing your experimentation. None of that. This you got simply because of blind luck. Now, I'm sad to say that a lot of people think that they can manipulate and achieve success consistently in that lower right-hand quadrant, in the blind luck quadrant. But that is using luck as your strategy. And luck is not a strategy. Don't bank on it. Now, breakthrough success, that's the upper right-hand quadrant. That is when you have unbelievable innovation capabilities. You're working hard. You're coming up with your ideas. You're coming up with your pipeline. You're managing your pipeline, and then the luck comes along with that. Now, in some cases, you can actually put yourself in the best possible position to achieve this breakthrough success with luck by also knowing when to do things like pause. You got a good idea, not a great idea, but a good idea, but the conditions just are not right to bring that idea forward. So what do? You pause it. You put it on the shelf, and you come back at it later. And then when luck does raise its head, you've got something that you've already put an immense amount of effort on. You can bring that forward. You can put it into that top right-hand quadrant, taking advantage of the luck and your innovation capabilities at the same time, and you can create that huge innovation success. Now, if you really want to succeed at the highest levels, whether it be business or personal, you have to work both hard and smart, such as have that idea ready, but be willing to put it on pause, and you also have to have luck on your side. Now, when I went back and I looked through all of my innovation successes over the years, the one thing I tend to overlook is that role of luck. How much did luck play in taking some of my ideas and turning them into big successes? Not because the idea was by itself a huge idea, but all of the other elements, the things you cannot control, had an influence. So take a look at your ideas and ask yourself, what role did luck play in their success, the innovation success, the inventions that you've been working on, those that have had some level of success? Be honest with yourself. What role did luck have? Now, you still need to learn the skills. You just can't have luck by itself, because what is that? That is, luck is a strategy, and luck is not a strategy. But do not think that if you do exactly what your idol does, you will also achieve success. Don't think that you can do exactly what Elon Musk does, or what Nikola Tesla did, or what Thomas Edison did, or any idol that you have out there. If you think you can follow their exact same steps and achieve the exact same level of success, you will be frustrated. You will not answer that question that you're asking yourself is what does it take to be successful? Who can I learn it from? And what are those lessons? You still need the skill, but recognize that you still have something that you don't have complete control over. And yes, I know that this can be extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. You want to be able to control everything. You want to be able to follow the 10 easy steps and follow the 5 phases and follow this product model or whatever it is, and that magic just automatically happens. I can tell you, it doesn't work that way. It flat out just doesn't work that way. So if you've been reading the biographies of people that you're an idol of, that's fine. Do that. But also when you're reading that, ask yourself, in the case of that idol, what role did luck play in that person's success? Alexander Graham Bell, what was it that allowed him? What was the luck element? Thomas Edison, I don't think would ever give credit to luck, but you can look at his inventions and pinpoint what was lucky at the time when he achieved success. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, right? Go through anybody that you treat as an idol, somebody that you truly would love to achieve that kind of success, have that kind of impact on the innovations that you're developing. And be honest, ask yourself, what role did luck play? Luck plays out in every innovation. There is not a single innovation out there that didn't benefit, didn't get that extra oomph, that extra kick because of something lucky happened, occurred, whether that was timing or finances or the right partner or something on a national scale happened, whatever it was, but it's outside of your control. Because look, luck is something that no one can control. So don't try to control it. Don't try to control it. Use your innovation capabilities to create that rich, robust funnel of ideas that you have out there and have them ready, all of them, to take advantage when luck occurs. If you have a big enough and a robust enough pipeline of ideas, no matter what luck appears, whether that is economic, societal, behavioral, trends, whatever it is, if you have a robust, well-structured, well-managed portfolio of ideas, then you can take advantage of whatever luck emerges with one of those ideas that's in your portfolio. So don't overlook luck. It is that key element that I, quite honestly, have never given enough credit to for my innovation success. And if you keep an eye open for it and you know how to leverage luck to your advantage, you too can achieve breakthrough innovation success. Remember, do not make luck your strategy. Success is a combination of skill plus luck. And to take advantage of luck, you need to be able to see it. You need to be prepared for it so that when it appears, you can take advantage of it with your portfolio of ideas and innovations. And one way to also kind of kickstart your opportunity or for luck to rear its head is to take risks. Try the unknown. Create your own luck. Thanks for the time out of your busy schedule. Time is the most valuable asset we have, and I know there's a lot of demands on your time, and I greatly appreciate you taking the time to be with me here in today's show. Can you help me pay it forward? Can you tell others about the show? Help us spread the word, help us grow the number of people that we can influence, can have impact on. That's why I do this show, is to reach as many people as possible, and you can help me play a role by extending that reach. You can also help by telling our sponsor. Tell our sponsor how you appreciate their support for the show, because without their support, I would not have a staff that could help me actually produce the show every week. I do not take any money. I've never been paid for anything that goes on here in the show. The small little sponsorship fees we get actually goes to pay a couple of full-timers, but mostly all part-timers. And we also have volunteers who contribute their time to help produce the show each and every week. So our sponsor, critically important. If you can reach out and let them know that you greatly appreciate their support for the show. Hey, have a great week. Take those innovations that you're working on now. Identify what lucky thing you would need to have happen to take that idea from where it is today to making it great, and then get yourself prepared. Keep your eyes open for when luck appears, your ability to identify that luck, hop on it, take advantage of it. Which is the difference between having a good idea and having a breakthrough, game-changing idea. We'll talk to you real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Podcasting nonstop since 2005, this has been the Killer Innovation Show on the Innovators Network.